All right, so we are back in the shop. I've got some welding that I'm doing, so I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on the stand for that. I do use a positioner for my runners, and it's fairly simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld up a couple runners here. You guys will see that, and then we'll go ahead and start building some stuff. I've got like 4 kits that I'm working on trying to wrap up before the weekend, and it's just been crazy. So we're doing that. Weather's starting to cool off. It's starting to feel nicer here in the shop naturally. So we're gonna get right to it and okay, so we're in the grinding room now, and on this manifold, I need to add a wastegate port, which is this dude here. And so how I do that is I go ahead and get it kind of mocked up on the car, and then I will mark just right along one radius of it, and then put it on the bench, put one small tack, and then I'll scribe out a line with a carbide scribe. You can probably see it right below the permanent marker line here, yeah. And then I'll put a permanent marker line on the inside of it, just shy of that line, so that when I go and I trim out all of this material here, I'll get as close as I can to that line without hitting it. And then that's it, and then it's ready to go. I don't even really need to have this in the grinding room with me when I do this. I just brought this in here to show you because I'm really confident in that line. If you scribe this line, there's really nowhere else that this can go. So it's just gonna fit like it should perfectly. And then when you weld it, you don't have to worry about any overlaps or anything like that. Really, porting, if you get good penetration, isn't even an issue. You shouldn't even have to port it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all ground out, and then I'll show you guys the fit after I'm done with that. So now what we got is we got this hole cut, but as you can see, you just line it up with that scribe line and you got a good old fit. So that's how you go ahead and do that. I use permanent markers and a scribe just to go ahead and get these holes cut exact. The only tip I have is here on like the crotch of the weld here, I usually will grind a little more away just because there's more material here since the tube is kind of laid over. It's thicker, it's going to be more material here, so you're going to want to grind a little further in. And honestly, even if you have a little gap here, that's fine. But yeah, so bunch of grinding, but that's the end product. There's a good clean hole to weld the wastegate port to, and then obviously I'll add a gusset to this since it's a little longer, and that'll strengthen it up. So we got this gate. Got the gate welded up here. Now, I'm gonna kind of explain something with these manifolds. So in order to build these things correctly, I can't weld this to the head flanges. because I've still got to build this runner, right? That goes up to the flange, and then I've got to add the wastegate port to it. Now, if I was to simply weld this, you know, just to the flanges, I might be able to get a good weld from about here, about, you know, I don't know, 6:30, 7 o'clock on the tube, all the way around to about 5 o'clock. Getting down in here and getting a good weld would be impossible if this is welded. So what I do is I build these to where they come off. Now that, it fits nice and snug, fits in that groove in the head flange, fits in the other one, that's it. That's it. It's not gonna change position. So you set that in there and then you figure out, you know, where you want your tube to go for this stretch here. So got a couple little bends here cut, and since this tube already kind of rides up along the radiator and then the frame rail sits, there's like a little loop in the frame rail that this thing's kind of gotta dodge around. I usually do a couple little bends just to get it up and around it, and then this tube is stacked on top of this tube. Then I have another wastegate sitting right on top of this gate, so then your boost lines and all that stuff can be, you know, plumbed up pretty efficiently without having a bunch of lines running around aimlessly. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start getting this runner all fitted up, and then we'll get her welded on. So it's that time of day, and it's a little cold here, so I got my sweater on. I don't feel like turning the heat on because that means I gotta turn the actual heat on. I don't feel like doing that. Anyways, I'm eating lunch, and what do you know? Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And then we'll get back to it. I got the wastegate port welded on, and I've got the gusset tacked on right now. So while I'm eating really quick, it's purging, so I can get that welded on. So we're gonna eat this really quick and then get in there and get that welded up. So there you go. Got that all fitted up, welded up, got the wastegate port welded on there. I've also got the gusset on the back side there, so it's all ready to go. I just got it welded up, gonna let it cool down for a minute, and then I'll get it all tacked up to the head flanges and then the turbine flange and get this thing going. The last clip you saw was me describing why and how I build the 2 split runners to where I can weld them all up. Now the manifold is done. Got it welded on the inside of the head flanges. I haven't decked it yet, but this is what it looks like all wrapped up. So as you can see, added these gussets here, and got these nice billet machined flanges. Got the tag welded on there. Everything looks good, fits good. And I got our fancy bracket here that bolts to the frame so that the turbo is supported. Now with these setups, typically you want to run a solid motor mounts just so there's not a whole lot of engine movement. There's obviously going to be vibrations, which are why these are here. So that'll take up some of the vibration, but these do not like to be under a lot of movement when heated up. So recommended that you run solid motor mounts with a manifold like this, but that's the manifold setup there. So got that one all done. So yeah, that's it for that manifold. I got like 4 other stuff I'm still working on, wrapping them all up. I got like the last 5% of stuff, so I'm wrapping that up. But got some stuff in the mail, and I'm really excited about it, so I'll go ahead and show that to you guys. As I had shown in the first, on the build update or the shop update video, you know, this was my brother's car, 02 WRX that we're building, and we got the blower for it, the throttle body, and that's just a cheap eBay throttle body, and then bought a lid for it as well. Now the only thing is with this lid, so this is the ZL1 lid, and as you'd see, the water ports for the brick come out the front, whereas the CTS-V one, they come out the back. So I think we're probably going to try to find a CTS-V lid. The only thing that stinks about that is the V lids are a little more expensive, but with the water ports being on the back, we wouldn't have to trim but like this brace here and maybe a little bit of the hood, just like the ever smallest amount. Throttle body fits underneath the hood, surprisingly. I still want to modify it and put like a little elbow to kick that thing down, but yeah, so I wanted to show that really quick with the lid on it. Looks pretty insane in there once I get the accessory drive on there and stuff. And we're gonna end up building a tube like front kind of radiator support, bumper support thing, and then do the same thing for like the headlight brackets out of like probably inch chromoly or something like that. But got the lid in, so that came in today, and then I got this butte in today as well. So this is my quick performance Ford 9-inch housing. I got the axles in as well for it, just waiting on the center section now. Ordered it, I don't know, a couple months back, so just waiting on that. But hopefully the next video I want to get the motor thrown in this thing, just for mock-up, get the 5.3 I have chucked in there, with the turbo 350 I have for mock-up chucked in there. And then I'm debating on whether or not I want to do a LSA on this car, do a big single. The only reason I am thinking about doing a big single on it is just because the front end's already cut, so there's like so much room up here. It's insane. Granted, I think an LSA blown, you know, like drag car would be pretty cool just because it has the power like almost anywhere. But yeah, so that's the update. Got some product done, working on a ton of stuff all at once, but that's kind of the name of the game. So trying to get stuff done. Figured I'd update you guys. So that does it for this video. Figured I'd wrap that video up with that. Got some other stuff I'm working on trying to wrap up. Got like that last 5%, which always seems to take the longest, but we're getting there. Good start to the week. Excited to start eventually working on my projects. Look forward to continually posting. I know this video took a little longer. I'm trying to make it more regular, but with my schedule, it's so hard to predict when I'll be able to make a video and then edit it. And so what I do is I kind of will make a video here and there, and then I'll edit it over time. And so that's what I've done with this. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys have any tips or anything that you want to see in particular, feel free to put it in the comments section, and I'll do the best that I can to try to make a video about that. I don't really want to do a bunch of tips and tricks type of stuff. I will do some of that throughout videos, obviously. When I have more free time though too, that kind of stuff will just kind of come naturally in the videos. But figured I'd update you guys, give you something to at least see what's going on. And hope you guys are having a good week. It's really nice out today. It's beautiful weather. Sun's out, no wind, nice and chill. A fall day. It's beautiful out. So hope you guys are having a good week. Have a good weekend. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the flip.